This is a very strong line for Evolution Cup, and stay tuned till the end because today we're checking out some really bad leads with Vigoroth up in front. You already know that in Evolution Cup Vigoroth is most likely gonna be the safest pick of them all, but still it is gonna have some soft weaknesses and we can still handle them with this pretty nice bulky Shadow bulk line. So bulk and Shadow most of the times are not gonna be in the same sentence, but both Sealeo and Dusclops are gonna serve as pure tanks for this format because not a lot of bulky Pokemon will exist in the meta. So if you have something like a Sealeo on Shadow, you can still use it pretty effectively against opponents and most certainly against something like a Shadow Dragonair that you can see over here up against us, able to completely farm down while tanking one move in the process as well. Now my Body Slam will be my main way to go and my opponent will get almost obliterated down with that Arctibucks. Eventually they can farm us down, but not before we reach to the complete annihilation of their shields. I was trying to catch here the move, but of course this is not gonna happen at all. My opponent is gonna throw now the Icy Wind, absolutely gonna outplay me over here, and right after we got the Ice Punch, which is gonna do so much damage on their end. The battle is definitely not over yet though, because Discharge is coming up. Hopefully though we can still reach to the Ice Punch, which means that we can guarantee with a knockout. Now Arctibucks returns into the battle, but still we can finish them off in no time at all, one hex later. Into the next battle line we're having Golbat up in front. This is where you need this back line to work pretty effectively against most flyers. So what you need to do is to aggressively switch in there to your Dusclops while you still have either the Rock Slide potentially from your Vigoroth or just the Sealeo matchup up against that flyer, and you're gonna be on a very good spot by protecting a lot your Vigoroth. So here comes now another Ice Punch from our end. And that is gonna do not enough damage to finish them off, but still will make them throw the remaining energy that they have. This means now that they are energy dry, my Vigoroth can go in, start farming down just a little bit, one counter, but still this means that we can survive the following move and still outspeed now to that next Rock Slide, which means that we can start getting some shields out of the way. And because I know they're gonna shield here, I'm just gonna go for the bait, and right after I will make them to throw the remaining energy. So I have to block at this point because they might have something like a fighter at the back, but instead they're gonna be severely weak to my ice typing. Sealeo here is gonna do so much work with those Shadow Powder Snows in combination with a very spammy Body Slams. Here comes the second one to finish off Dragonair, and of course now Golbat has nothing to do over here since they are shieldless and we have only one, but still this can be absolutely clutch for our Sealeo. Into the next battle now with the Shadow Dragonair, and of course we're gonna reach to those Body Slams as soon as we can, and right after we will try to catch the Body Slam of their own to our Dusclops. This time we cannot do this, and if you want to try and do that as well, all you have to do is to go for those 5 counters, throw the Body Slam, one more counter, and then try to switch out to your Dusclops. Most of the times it works. Here it didn't work, but still you're gonna see later on that it will. So anyways, now we're gonna see that they have the Rock Slide, which can finish off our Dusclops, but to be fair I don't care much about that Pokemon right now because we have already done our job. One shield is down from both ends, which means now that we can get that final shield out of play if we can play accordingly. Now Body Slam is gonna do that effectively, and at the back they have the Golbat. You know what, this move can easily be taken, so I'm just gonna take it, and right after still reach to the Aurora Beam for massive damage on that Golbat. But because they have a Shadow Dragonair after the debuff, they almost are successful in completely farming down our Sealeo, but we can still survive with those mediocre IVs on the 1 HP scale and still grab this victory. Into another battle lead now with Vigoroth up in front, as always gonna switch out immediately to our Dusclops, and here is where Poltergeist might actually come in clutch, because my opponent will reach to the Icy Wind I know we can survive it, and even after the debuff, we can go for the nuke on that Arctibucks, even though they had 2 shields remaining. Are you kidding me? Absolutely awesome for us. And immediately right after, we have another move, this time for Golbat. Those debuffs never work for our Shadow Dusclops because of the damage output that we can do with that very bulky Pokemon against a very glassy meta. Now at the back, they have a Vigoroth of their own, and of course things aren't looking that great because all we have to do here is to reach those moves, but still they have the energy advantage. Here comes now another Body Slam from my end, but if I want to finish off their line, I need to sacrifice both of our shields in the process. So at this point, I'm just gonna throw here the Body Slam, try to finish them off. Down they go. They want to keep that final shield, but of course this final Body Slam will take the shield or just go ahead and go through, because as I can already imagine, well, they might actually surrender since they knew that I could just finish them off instead with Sealeo. So that's why they let that move go through even though they have the shield. I'm guessing against Novaridis now, and we're having Shadow Dragonair once again, and this time we managed to catch Body Slam on the Dusclops. This is the main strategy that you need to follow against Dragonair. Just go for the 5, throw the Body Slam, one more extra of those counters, and then switch out to Dusclops. Most of the times this strategy will work for any opponent out there. My opponent though is gonna go here for that Shadow Ball, for the nuke against Dusclops, and immediately right after we're having Sealeo coming in super clutch, because we can survive the following move and still apply a lot of pressure even against that Vigoroth with a heavy hitting Body Slam. Heavy hitting, not that heavy hitting, but still it is gonna be kind on point. So at this point I want to go ahead and throw the Body Slams, okay, but to do so I need first to charge up to a couple, and since we can finish them off here, one more is imminent, but this time to the Dragonair, looking pretty strong. Down we go to the Dragon Breath, but still Sealeo is gonna come in super clutch with that final Body Slam of our own. Let's get that knockout against Dragonair, and of course Sealeo is gonna be an amazing closer for this team. Into the next battle now with the Golbat once again up in front. This Pokemon super troublesome for Vigoroth, especially under shielding, because only Rock Slide can potentially hurt it, but still, as you can see here, we got the Poltergeister at the switch with the one shot against Arctibucks. Most of these dragon types are never gonna block your first Ice Punch on the switch, which is absolutely insane for us, and the Poltergeist can definitely surprise a lot of opponents. Down they go in one shot, managing to get the shield out of the Golbat. Absolutely awesome, and now we can survive even that Shadow Ball. This one is looking pretty promising for us, and of course we're just gonna finish them off in no time with that Body Slam. Now all that remains at the very end is gonna be the Vigoroth of their own, but since we got the shield advantage, perhaps we can absolutely wreak havoc on their defenses with a back-to-back Body Slam. At this point they want to throw, I have no clue why they do this, but still we're gonna get the victory no matter what. Into the final one now, trainers, and we're having the battle of the ages, Vigoroth against Dusclops. So let's see how this is gonna end, because this is another bad one. Even though we can reach 2 of those Rock Slides, they are still gonna be able to eventually finish us off with a lot of Ice Punches. I believe we need 4 at least to faint. So here comes now the second. I know that they need 4 for the first and 3 for the second, and we can take totally advantage of that, because now another Rock Slide is imminent, and this one is gonna put that Dusclops pretty low. Even if they reach here to a nice punch, we can easily survive it and still apply a lot of pressure with Body Slam, but my opponent will try actually to go ahead and catch on the Dragonair. This is looking now a lot of promising for my backline, especially for Sealeo, because by blocking once can easily farm down a lot of energy in the process. Spylos at the very end, so they have a double dragon backline, and of course at this point we're just gonna keep going at it with back to back Body Slams for heavy pressure on their end. Another one is coming up, let's see if they want to block. Of course they do, otherwise they're kinda doomed. And another one before we go down. However, at this point they can catch on the Dusclops, but still we can have kinda the upper hand with our own Dusclops. Just gonna switch out here, trying to cuts, but instead we make a lot of damage with a simple counter. Down we go to the Dragon Breaths, but still they're getting super low, which means that we can farm down in the process with that final hex. That is gonna be all for today, trainers. Thank you for watching and for staying till the end. Just be sure to leave a huge like before you go, subscribe to the channel, and over here I have 2 more videos to check out if you want to, and if you check them out I will catch you up later into the next one.